You sit across from them and steadily name what hurt you. You explain your disappointment, hoping for a moment of understanding. Instead, the person you were talking to instantly closes off, crossing their arms with an expression of deep offense. The emotional weight of the room shifts. The person who caused the harm begins, acting like the victim of your honesty, behaving as if being confronted is a far greater injury than the action they actually took. The conversation moves away from what happened. It stops being about your pain and begins to focus entirely on how your words made the other person feel. This pivot leaves you stranded instead of addressing the original issue. You find yourself trying to justify your feelings, effectively proving that you had a right to be hurt in the first place. This specific conversational pivot is known as emotional deflection. It is often subtle, masking itself behind tears, heavy silence, or a display of being wounded. It doesn't always look like an argument. Sometimes it looks like a person, simply being too upset to listen. The result is a profound sense of disorientation. The person who spoke up is suddenly the one offering comfort, left wondering how they became the source of the problem. This behavior traces back to early childhood. When an 8-year-old says, "I didn't like that," and the caregiver responds with frustration, the room feels unsafe. A child interprets an adult's defensive reaction as a threat to their connection. To maintain that bond, the child begins to monitor the adult's moods with high precision. This is adaptation. The child learns to soften her truth, watching the adult's face to decide when it is safe to speak and when it is necessary to stay. By it, she begins apologizing for her own feelings because the adult's reaction feels much bigger and more dangerous than her own truth. By adolescence, these survival tactics begin to harden. A 15-year-old expresses a boundary to a friend, but the moment the friend looks offended, she instinctively walks back her words to fix their mood. Adaptation has now become automation. The reflex to protect the relationship by abandoning the concern happens without a second thought. It shows up in common phrases like "never mind," "it's fine," or "I didn't mean it like that." All said before the other person even has a chance to respond. The habit is set. The concern is abandoned. To ensure the connection remains intact, this automation follows you into adulthood. You state a disagreement, and because of your history, it feels like you've committed an act of disrespect. This struggle is compounded when a partner internalizes honesty as an attack. Because they lack the tools to sit with the discomfort of being wrong, they use their own hurt feelings. As a shield against reflection, they stop asking, "What did I do?" and instead demand to know, "Why would you say that to me?" The guilt you feel in these moments is a lifelong echo, the practiced habit of managing someone else's emotional immaturity while your own reality disappears. Breaking this cycle begins with awareness. This is the moment you pause and recognize that this historical pattern is repeating in the present conversation. You realize that disappointment is not disrespect. Honesty is not an attack, even if the person receiving it reacts with defensiveness. Awareness provides the ground you need to stand on. It helps you stop shrinking to fit inside someone else's reaction. This leads to the final concept. Attachment healing involves learning to identify which relationships have the actual capacity to hold your honesty. You recognize healthy attachment by the phrases it uses. "I hear you," or "help me understand." These stand in stark contrast to deflection, which asks, "So now I'm the bad person." Relationships that force you to carry their pain while yours is ignored are echoes of the past. Real repair requires room, or your truth, to exist without being treated as an injury. Human behavior is a form of communication that evolves over a lifetime. Breaking the cycle starts with recognizing the echo.